Call to order the Board of Aldermen meeting for April 17th, 2023. May I have roll call, please?
Alderman Beelan.
Here.
Alderman Salem. Here. Administrator Lippert.
Here.
Mayor Cozy.
Here.
Attorney Ball.
Here.
Alderman Side.
Here. Everybody join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First item we have is the consent agenda. The council report, March 31st through April 13th, 2023. The Board of Aldermen meeting minutes, April 3rd, 2023. And the collector's report for March 2023.
I'll make a motion to accept the consent agenda as printed.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Alderman Beelan.
Aye.
Alderman Side.
Aye.
Alderman Salem.
Aye.
Next, we have the verification of election results from the Franklin County Municipal Election conducted on April 4th, 2023. St. Clair Municipal Judge, David Aran with 279 votes. St. Clair Alderman Ward 1, Arthur Veland with 138 votes. St. Clair Alderman Ward 2, Christine Dulworth with 54 votes. The question of City Marshal was a yes of 152 and a no of 206. The St. Clair question, sales tax, was a yes with a 260 and a no with 106. We'll have to have a motion to accept the election results.
I move to accept the election results as presented.
Second.
May I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Side.
Aye.
Alderman Beelan.
Aye.
Alderman Salem.
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll have to have a short recess to swear in our aldermen.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I possess all the qualifications as prescribed by law for this office, that I support the Constitution of the United States and the state of Missouri, and the provisions of the laws affecting this class, and the ordinances of the city of St. Clair, and I faithfully demean myself in office. So help me God.
So help me God. You can.
Tell Chris you can come on up here.
Looks like it got destroyed. I don't know what it is.
Congratulations, Alderman Dulworth and Veland. We'll reopen the meeting. May we have roll call, please?
Alderman Beelan.
Here.
Alderman Salem.
Here.
Administrator Lippert.
Here.
Mayor Cozy.
Here.
Attorney Ball.
Here.
Alderman Dulworth.
Here.
Alderman Side.
Here.
Next, we have a presentation by Trumco for the City Hall roof repair.
How do I do tonight? I think I said this last time, for the folks who just got elected, my dear sympathy or congratulations, whichever it is. Because I think last time I was here, someone got sworn in too. I think I said the same thing. Yeah, it was a couple of months or so, or 2 months ago, whenever it was. Okay, guys, so we walked through the job as the scope I presented you, and then we walked through it with the facilities department, and then we walked through it with the contractors. We brought a team of contractors out here, and we walked through the whole building envelope for tuck pointing, for replacing glass blocks that are broken, doing different things, replacing the roof on section E, which we call section E, which is the gym. And then we added a roof, this is section E here, what I called it on the map, and then we added an alternate of roof A. When we were walking around, we decided as the facilities department and us and contractors that roof A is in not very good shape at all. And the reason, I apologize, I didn't really look at it that day, because when me and the team went up there, it was raining and it was cold, and we did not retrench off the roof. But it's an alternate, so you don't have to do it if you choose not to, but we added it as a choice. So we did bid it all out, and the bids came in as follows. There was another alternate that we added, was when we were talking about the building envelope, the exterior, and different things to do. There's some concrete work that needs to be done. When you come into the main entrance, there's a little culvert pipe, and that piece of concrete's all broken up. We added that to the larger portion back. The sidewalk, when you go out the back doors, it's really close to the concrete, and when it's wintertime, it expands and the doors get stuck, which is probably not a really good thing. And there's water, there's not a lot of positive slope, so the water doesn't flow away from the building. So we're gonna tear that all out. And again, it's an alternate, it doesn't have to be done, but I was asked to get a quote on that as well. So we're gonna tear the concrete out, we're gonna put a French drain, we're gonna, where that downspout comes down in the corner, it goes in, there's those gravel things that collect water. We're gonna eliminate that and put the pipe in the ground and bring it out the air, out by the street, and then put a swale in, so it kind of configures the water to get away from the building. And so that was an alternate in there as well. So we've got all new sheet metal and scupper boxes, gutters that need to be replaced, etc. So on the masonry, we added some things as well. I think the first quote called out 6 broken glass blocks, but there's actually 14 of them that we're going to pull out and replace. Let's see, when we get down, we don't need to go through the whole spec unless you wanted to, but the numbers came in a little bit higher than what we budgeted, and some things that we added are attributed to that, and also what's attributed to that is contracting. Stuff's expensive now, it just is. Every bid we go to, every school project, everything that gets bid is over budget. It's just crazy because of resources, materials, and contractors are busy. So the bids are what the bids are, and I got a bid matrix that we can go over too. But what we did add to the roof project is the skylight we talked about in the office over there. We talked about we were going to put tinting over it because it gets really hot in there from the sun coming through. But when the glass guys came out here, it's actually plexiglass. So plexiglass tends to get old and brittle. You can't put a tinting on it. So with the conclusion of that and the cost of, we don't want to replace the glass, it gets really expensive. So what we decided to do is just put a metal roof over on the outside, like green or whatever the metal trim is, so that it would be a pyramid. You leave the frame that you got, but it'll all be a nice stainless metal roof. And then just eliminate the problem completely, the heat coming in and everything else. And then facilities will probably put a drop ceiling in or whatever they decide to do with it at that point. We added that to the job and some other things. We added 2 ladders going to the roofs. You have to have, what they were doing before is dragging a ladder up on the roof, putting it up there to do mechanical work, which is really not OSHA, because you have to have a fixed ladder to the building, and that's what you want for your guys. You want them to have easy access up and down without dragging the ladder up on the roof. And so we added that. We added some certain things like that. So anyway, the numbers are as follows when you take a look at it. The one thing, alternate number 3, we talked about that, and that was an add-on of $7,000, and that would be to demo all the scupper boxes, the protruding scupper boxes, and right now we're going to restore, it's in the package to restore them, but again, talk with Mr. Lippert, it was just offered, but it's not necessary, and the scupper boxes, the stone scupper boxes does give your building some character, so it's your decision, but it's not needed is the point on that one. So then you have the concrete, you see that alternate as well. And then the windows, we were gonna do like 6, but it ended up to be like 12, 14 or 12 or something that's in there, that are all fogged up. So we just pretty much figured just going through the building and making it look like it's new and getting, putting all the new roofs on that need it, do the tuck pointing, caulk joints, concrete work, and everything else on that. The bid matrices are as follows. You guys get this in your packet as well. Taylor Roofing was a low bidder on that, and so you had bids from 215, 227, and 240, and then you have a bid package, the bidders for the 3 masonry contractors. And so those are how the bids came in. Now remember, this is going through the AEPA contract. It's a purchasing program that you get through the power of purchasing with schools. So you guys are buying the material direct from the manufacturer at 13% discount. And so it's an advantage. That's why the schools, that's where St. Clair, Washington, Missouri, Union, Missouri, all these schools in the area I work with, they've been customers of mine for quite some time. So you're purchasing this through a co-op, so it's a pre-bid contract. I kind of went over this with you last time. I don't mean to be redundant, but it's a pre-bid contract. So what we really do is we really bid this job twice because the line items are already bid through the co-op. We bid them every 2 years to AEPA, and then we bid it again with the contractors, and they had to be equal or less than what it was previously bid at. And so the contractor that we chose is qualified and fits under all those categories. So, are there any questions?
Yes. The scupper boxes, so you said that demo was to tear them out and build them back?
Yeah, well, on the $7,000 extra, no, we're not building them back, we're just gonna remove them. See, they protrude from the wall, and the gutters actually go through them. It's just for cosmetics, it's just to give it some dimension to the walls. We talked about, when we were looking at them, that we could turn them off, and so the price of redoing them is subtracted. It would cost a lot more than $7,000 if you were coming around and tear them all off and put in the brick and everything. But since we're going to rebuild them, then we subtracted that from the price. It would be $7,700. But it's a matter of just, do you like how they look? If you do, then you don't need to spend $7,700. But if you don't care for them, then you can. It's just whatever you want to do, you know.
So you're saying it's going to cost $77 to get rid of them?
To get rid of them, yes. Because it could be a maintenance issue down the line, but again, it's a cosmetic thing. It's whatever you guys want, you know. Yeah.
But the original bid in the base includes them, the repair and the tuck pointing and look like new, essentially.
Yeah, correct.
And that's, so that was, this $7,700 would be to tear them off and try to make it look like they were doing there. Does that make sense? I don't think it's, to me, that's expensive. I think it adds character to the building. So, and it's more money than something like take it off. That's, they're gonna fix it, they can be structurally sound.
So you're saying
Scratch that.
scratch that?
The only question I had was on the roof, what we're calling roof A, and I wasn't here, but was there a roof, Jason, did we put a roof on that not long ago, or how long has that roof been?
I don't think so. I think that roof is original, and I think the gym is original, and they recoated a certain piece of it, and I think they recoated this roof, and then the PD roof, I think, has been recoated. But I think the roof over the main office in there and the gym are original to the building.
So that wouldn't be under warranty, that's what I'm asking.
Right, no.
And that, I've seen the pictures that you guys have there, it's all warranty and everything else. And the thing of it is, the other thing that we talked about is that these prices for all these ancillary things are because they're already here, and they've already got it's part of the package. For instance, if they came back later and said, hey, we'll do roof A, it'll be a heck of a lot more than $107,000.
Right, because it's already, the setup fee, went through the line item contract, we're already here, it's already got setup fees, and so it's a diminishing returns, we're gonna already be here, so, it's just, and that's one reason why, when I was talking to the gentleman over there, they're like, well, this roof isn't really good, so let's give them an alternate, because it makes sense to do it now. it's all wrinkled. I thought you had pictures, but I apologize, I can always send them to you, but the corners, what happens is single ply roofs, it's a single ply roof, he's right, they coated it years ago. So the roof is original to this building, it's a rubber roof. And so what they do is they shrink, and then they pull from the edges, so the edges are all tinted, and the corners are all wrinkled up and everything. And so you can't restore the roof, it's pretty well failed. So, yeah,
And it's not gonna unfail.
no.
I mean, it's, do it now or do it next year, regardless, it's a failure.
Right, and
And
when
when
you
your
have,
structural integrity fails in the roof, then everything potentially is.
right, and you don't want it to have it in the wintertime when it's really cold, if a single ply roof fails, you can't put a torch on it to heat it up. You can heat up an asphalt roof, you know, and then fix it, but if it's below 40, it's hard to make stuff stick to single ply roofs, and so that's why it's important to try to stay on top of it.
And then another quick question, sorry. The concrete replacement, so that's going to correct the drainage out front and in the back?
Well, I don't know about the drainage out front. What we're gonna do is we're gonna remove what you got, that piece of concrete that bridges that it's kind of an open hole. We're gonna put a culvert in there and put new concrete on it because it's all broken up. And so it'll be a little designed differently, but I'm not sure if any kind of, we're not like cutting into the ground or nothing or reseeding straw. I mean, if it needs it, I don't know why it would be, we're gonna have equipment here, it's not a big deal, but, you know, I didn't know about that, you know, but we can address it.
Oh, I was just at
Yeah, yeah.
because I know you were talking about drainage in the back, so I was just.
Right, that is an issue,
Yes.
yes.
And we talked about, even if we did all that work in-house, try to pour concrete, do flat work, and do French drain, and do all this concrete work and everything else, I don't know that we could do it for less than $20,000 per group. You know, and then the other thing is that you guys mentioned too, that if we did want to make some corrections to that side area over there, later, while their crews are here, like we have crews, they could help us do something.
Yeah, with the veterans thing, yeah, we would.
Or something, whatever.
Yeah, we could try to work, we could work with you, so if it's all donations, the guy would, or we could do some skid steer work, you know, we could work something out, yeah.
But I'm just saying, the fact that they've already got all the equipment here to do that
Right.
is the reason that all of that concrete repair and all that is because they're already here.
Right.
I mean, if you guys had to come back and just do those jobs, ballpark, what would that cost?
Well, you know, you're hauling all your equipment out and everything, I mean, it's not, you know, but if you guys know what you're gonna do with that patio, with the veterans.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that, but I'm talking about the 28,000.
Oh, yeah, come back out, yeah, we're already out there. The jobs, when you run through the job, line on contracts, the job's already set up, there's a
Right.
setup fee. So
Right.
everything you add is just a pass-through, it's just a small markup, you know, that's why it's to your advantage to add stuff to the central job, the base job, yeah. Mhm.
And that's what I was getting at,
Yeah.
is that we looked at like that area, the three of us,
I'm sorry,
and we decided that even in-house, we probably couldn't do the work. Plus, you guys are already here with all your equipment.
Right, exactly.
Then it's done professionally, it's all union scale, it's all
Right,
union wage,
all
it's all
union.
prevailing, whatever else.
So everything, this is, when we talk to, you get a PO, then we give you all the specifications, all the details, everything. And then everything is, we do all the prevailing wage documents and everything. So everything is turnkey. Like we do field inspections, we'll send out to you guys the field inspections when we come out with inspectors. When we do inspections, we do a lot of inspections. We're out checking safety, making sure everything's good for pedestrian safety and make sure the guys are doing all their work. And so everything's covered in this regard, in this price. It includes performance bonds, everything's required by state. So every prevailing wage, everything is full. There's no extras. By our contract, we cannot give you an extra. In the construction world, it's generally 10% in the construction world on all jobs. 10% is an average, what extras are. But by our contract, we cannot give you an extra unless it's a hidden obstruction. But there's not going to be any hidden obstructions because you can see the deck because the ceilings were exposed. And so that would be the only hidden obstruction, so there will be no hidden obstructions. Yes.
And you estimate 60 days.
It would be, it would be not that much, but I would say 60 days would give us ample time to get it completed, yes. And I'm thinking of probably about a June start date is what I'm thinking.
years ago, I know that some builders, when they would sell a home